Alright, so hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today I want to talk about my favorite melee weapons, the kind of weapons that I know I can pick up at any time and have fun with them. Now this one is going to be a little bit different because when it comes to actual melee weapons, I only use 2 of them. Why? Well, because Zos exist. But I will talk about this later. So let's check out number 1. The Guandao. Now this is a relatively new polearm with good damage, good crit chance, decent attack speed, and a lot of range. The setup I have here is what I like to call the windmill build, which prioritizes range and attack speed and then squeezes in as much damage as possible. And pretty much the only reason why I'm still using the Guandao and I haven't converted to a custom-made Zo polearm is my Riven, the Guandao Loctitox, which adds some toxin damage, which is combined with Shocking Touch for corrosive, and a ton of range, which stacks on top of Primed Reach for a stupid amount of range. I've always had a build like this as far as I can remember. It started on the Orthos, moved on to Orthos Prime, then a couple of other polearms, and ultimately ended on the Guandao because I got a really good Riven for it. This setup isn't super effective versus high levels because the damage tends to fall off pretty hard once you reach the end of the start chart, but it's a lot of fun, especially if you have a frame with some sprint speed, because the quick attack on polearms allows you to sprint. It's actually kind of ridiculous, which is why I absolutely love it, because the amount of range I have on this surpasses the fall of range of some shotguns. And to this day, it still kind of amazes me how far you can be from an enemy and still hit them with it. It's just stupid. And the second actual melee weapon that I use a lot is the Sigma on Octantis, and this one isn't very easy to get because it's the 700-day login reward, and it's absolutely awesome. Now, I'm currently in the process of switching to a different build because while this one works really well for just hitting things over the head, it's not that great for the unique mechanic, which is an aerial shield throw. So I'm going to be switching over to a setup that's not as powerful as this one for hitting things over the head, but it will one-shot everything on the star chart with the shield throw, which this currently doesn't, and it feels pretty bad at times. Because the shield throw is just too cool to not kill things. I mean, come on. The shield throw is just really cool. In fact, I see it as being the coolest unique melee mechanic in the game. I'm also really starting to like the flailiness of Final Harbinger, so that's a nice bonus as well. And that's honestly it for melee weapons, because nowadays the melee weapon either has to be immensely cool looking or it has to have a really good unique mechanic, otherwise it's most likely going to be surpassed by a Zo. I think everyone knows what Zos are by now, but just in case you don't, they are custom-made melee weapons that you yourself build from different parts at Hock's Anvil in Cetus. And they kind of flip the whole weapon and modding system on its head, because instead of getting a weapon and then coming up with a build for it, you can come up with a build and then build a weapon that's gonna work really well with it. So I or anyone can go, alright, I want a really fast heavy blade that has a ton of status for condition overload and healing return, but I also want it to have just enough crit so I can put on Berserker and go absolutely mental with it. Which is what I like to do. Alternatively, if you're of the min-maxi mindset, you can put together a Plague Zo that can possibly proc 6 different status effects, put condition overload on it, and then just watch as the enemies disintegrate before you, regardless of their level, armor, or shields. Or if you're like me and you like to build kinda dumb niche weapons, you can build something like the Bewitched Alonne sword, which is an Ekwana that was tailored to do as much upfront damage as possible. Why? Well, so that I can do this and feel cool while doing it. That's it. That's why I made that weapon. Well, it's also a pretty good stat stick, but that right there is the main reason why I made that Zo. Just to one-tap things in style when they get too close. And that right there is why I mostly use Zos nowadays, not actual melee weapons, because chances are I can put together something that does what I wanted to do better than any other melee weapon in the game. Especially since I try to prioritize fun and enjoyment so that I can put the fun parts in and then squeeze in as much damage as possible so it's actually effective at the same time. That is the great and also terrible thing about Zos. They give you a lot of freedom, they allow you to just have fun with them, but at the same time they kind of invalidate the vast majority of melee weapons that came before them. But anyway, I think I've been rambling for long enough, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.
Sons and daughters, by the heart of future, strong united.